All right, hello and welcome back. Hopefully the audio is recording properly. I don't know what happened, but in the previous video, the first 30 seconds or so, it just didn't record and then suddenly turned on. So hopefully that's not happening again, but you see here that we're out at the swamp. Got us all positioned to head up into Upper
This must be the way
Opinwood.
out of the swamp.
We have Paulson with us for our first full video with him. And this is actually probably the location where the crossbow Valkyrie that Conrad will be using. Let's try some more lightning on these guys. Just nothing really works exceptionally well on them. This key is not particularly needed per se. Probably should have waited till we had a few of them together to use that, but I believe it does open a chest somewhere. We'll try that out. Somewhere back here. But it's one that you can just as easily pick, so it's not the most necessary. Alright, clearly this is not going to be a place where we can rest well. Just kind of cutting across, getting a general feel for the area, and then we'll fill in the gaps. I took almost everything that we had before and either sold it, quote unquote, to that magical face that eats our stuff and gives us money. But the rest of it I left right at the entrance to the Herbish Mines. We're just gonna come here and collect some of our stuff.
I don't have enough magic.
We definitely don't need anywhere near this much oil. We're gonna be selling a bunch of this, or trading it in, however you want to look at it. Riddle scroll here. Medallion scoop we can keep down here for now. We really only need one more empty flask. There we go. That's probably what I should have done from the beginning. Grab our last flask here. Very good. Okay. Medallion's cube we'll be using shortly. Wow, that's way more oil than I'll need. There's only one other location in the game that will require the use of oil to keep our lantern lit, and frankly, it's not particularly long. So, all right, now let's actually focus on filling in everything. Potentially we could have taken a quick rest there, but I'm not too worried about the enemies here at this point. There we go. And there's nothing in there. So yeah, as I said, not the most important item in the game. But I prefer to use it rather than just kind of have it sitting around doing nothing. Then I constantly wonder, hey, does this go to something? And the answer is it's not. I don't remember if I had said it before, but this should be a relatively quick video, certainly shorter than the last video where we went through the entire Herbish Mines. That will be either it'll be one of the 3 longest videos, the Herbish Mines. And may well even be the longest, depending on how everything else goes and whether or not I break up Castle Cimmeria into 2 videos, which I think I likely will. It's just a little too frustrating of a location and long of a location to do the entire thing. Here we have a nest where those hornets will spawn, and for the time being, we're just going to kind of leave it be. Alright, so that's everything over through here, so we'll head up in this direction. But yes, today's video is only going to be taking place over these woods and the woods just north of here, neither of which take a particularly should have gotten this before, second Bezel ring to protect Paulson from the poison of the swamp, which is not very necessary anymore, but it's okay. We'll make a couple more trips there. You'll note that I cashed in but did not bother buying additional fireball ones yet, because I just didn't want them filling up our inventory for no reason. But actually, we will be using some of them very shortly. Okay, and in just a moment, we're actually going to be meeting up with an old friend. Right here.
You fellows have become bothersome. Don't press your luck. You don't want to make me angry. I have business in the tower now, and I do not wish to be disturbed.
I wish you would just stay and fight.
Why she does not just simply stand and fight makes just as little sense for her as it does for every other similar character in every other movie or game in which the all-powerful final enemy continually runs into the main characters and then just kind of leaves them. But we have Scotia's barrier here that we cannot get through. However, if we use the Valiant's cube, we
must destroy this barrier.
Can sap the magical power from the barrier.
It's working.
And ultimately destroy it. Of course, we also lose our Valiant's cube, unfortunately, but that's okay. We will make do. Alright, let's have some fun. Let's use Paulson, because we can build up his magic a little bit.
Empty.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you coming.
Empty.
There we go. Yeah. Up until level 4, as I think I mentioned at some point in the past, you get a lot of increase in your spell power from using the fireball wands. It still does a decent amount, just not nearly as much after level 4. Alright, so we really haven't done much of anything over here yet. Most of this all just kind of loops together. There might be another couple of chests, but there really is not much more of value here in Opinwood. I'm going to drop some stuff that eventually we will sell later. If I had realized how much oil we had, I probably would have taken it and sold it before. This is already probably more than we need, and we will still get some more from various locations, so there is absolutely no risk of running out of oil really at this point. Alright, where else do we need to go? Let's close some of these loops off. Be another nest, I believe. Yes, heading this way. So let's see, this might be a decent time to... It's really unnecessary to be using the fireball ones on these creatures here. Even when they gather in a large swarm, they're still not very dangerous, unlike some of the other enemies that we come across. I think we'll turn and head back this way. They're just not very strong, and particularly with Valkyrie in hand, it is extremely effective against the little fly hornet enemies. So you always have that sort of in your back pocket, as it were. And as much of a threat as the skeletal soldiers were when we popped up here initially, right after we first arrived here, they are significantly less of a threat now that we have these stronger weapons and that we are stronger ourselves. Of course, I do still feel for we don't need this. We don't need this.
Empty.
I'll leave this by Scotia's barrier just for the sake of having it around. On the off chance we have need to return to the tower without any Valiant's cubes available to us. See here, like, we have this big swarm and it's still, it's taking a little bit of time, but they don't do enough damage. And they're easy enough to hit that there's no real fear of anything particularly bad happening. See how this sickle compares to the other 24, 42, but less protection, and much less protection. I almost want to keep it just because I never used the sickle, but I'm not going to. The others are better. Hello, friends. Welcome to my humble abode. Alright. What do we got here? So, we need to head up this way. Another chest. Ooh, whoa. Get myself all spun around. Dealing with these swarms here is actually, if you have any need to increase your rogue, this is a great place to do it because they will continuously respawn and you can just use Valkyrie. But we also have this jade necklace which automatically raises our rogue by 1 level. I'll give this to Paulson since he doesn't even get any armor.
26, 20.
Empty.
There is another item in the game, the Master Axe, which will raise your rogue by 1 additional level. And both of those items can be extremely important, particularly if you have not trained your rogue throughout the game. When you get into Scotia's castle and there is a particular lock you have to pick, which is extremely difficult to pick unless you have rogue at least 5. So we're in a decent place for that now, but I intend to continue to have Conrad here man the crossbow Valkyrie because it remains a very useful weapon. Thought I'd gone too far. Alright, so here we have the pathways up into the Yvel Woods. We will head up this way. And we have entered Yvel. I'm going to do, I think,
This
as
stuff
I
has been picked clean.
mentioned before, I'm going to do this all as one video. I don't think there's any reason at this point to be splitting up these 2 sets of woods. There's just no real story advancement in Upper Opinwood to make it worthwhile to do that by itself. Yvel Woods, we have another barrier from Scotia that we'll have to deal with. But that we actually won't be dealing with until we have completed another far more, let's say, daunting task. I'm going to actually explore these woods later because first thing I want to do is head due north in order to trigger a certain event. I think I still have to go farther. Nope. We come over here. So we get all the way north and then head to the west. We will find some new friends.
Uh-oh. Looks like trouble.
So here we have Castle Cimmeria.
Yep. That's Castle Cimmeria.
Which is where Scotia lives and mans her forces. And this is the large, dark army blocking our
Looks
path.
like several thousand orcs over there.
And then a bridge. But if we try to go across...
Those vile orcs have severed the bridge. Now we must locate an alternate route to the Castle Cimmeria.
So yes, we must find a different way into Castle Cimmeria. But even more problematic is, as we turn to leave, there is a small army. Oh no, that's not good. Every now and then, in this location, your magical weapons will just... Oh, there we go. Not have their full effect on these great orcs, are what these creatures are. So, if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, you could think of them as the Uruk-hai to the standard orc fare. And there's actually, I don't know if it's just a problem with the coding, but it's highly variable how many of those great orcs actually will appear. Sometimes it's only 5 or so like that, but it is possible for there to just be a never-ending horde, and it can be extremely difficult, if not almost impossible, to get past them, because they just don't stop unless you can kill them fast enough to be able to escape. Now, the important thing that we had to do, in addition to getting a little bit of story development by seeing the bridge be collapsed and realizing that we cannot take a traditional front door approach to Castle Cimmeria, is acquiring this Valiant's Cube. Although again, we are not going to immediately try to go through Scotia's barrier, because we are going to need this Valiant's Cube in order to advance through the next level, as it were, of the game. That being the White Tower. If that sounds at all familiar, it is because it is the same White Tower that the Droracle mentioned, where we will be able to brew this elixir to cure Good King Richard. And where is that located? Why, right here.
Maybe this is the White Tower where we can create the elixir.
Indeed,
This
it
castle is huge.
All right, let's just step back, actually. We're going to drop this emerald blade here, and I think everything else we will keep with us. Yes, actually, probably leave these here, too. We don't need them for now. Now, you know what? I'm going to leave... Yeah, this is fine. Leave them right here. Very good. All right, so we have explored all of the Yvel Woods except for this area over here, which we won't get to for a little bit. And when we come back, we will be heading into the White Tower. But till then, see ya.